The Ark of the Covenant remains one, because the Ark of the Covenant points to a single throne that is in heaven, which is the throne of the Father. The Son is seated there, at the right hand of the Father, receiving honor, but the throne is not his. The throne belongs to the Father, and he will receive the throne of David on earth. After the 1,000 years, that throne which belongs to the Father will also become the Son's. And what I just said is written in Revelation 22, verse 3. When the Son submits to the Father, restores the whole earth to the Father puts everything under the feet of the Son, even death, but it was the Son who was managing all of this. When the Son restores everything, brings everything back with his church to the Father, he hands everything over to the Father, so that the Father may be all in all, because the Father is greater, always has been, and always will be. This is written, and it was Paul who said it. Then, yes, the Father comes to the Son and says, "Come to your throne. My throne is your throne, and your throne is the throne of the church." This is just so beautiful, and unfortunately, it's overshadowed by the deception of the Trinity. So, brothers, just so you can see how things are fulfilled in small ways, I'm going to go back to Samson, to Dan, and add some wonderful things, but pay close attention to this. Dan, who was a serpent on the path there in the Millennium in Ezekiel's time, is receiving land as an inheritance. He is a people, and he judges his people. In other words, Dan is a judge and judges his people, the Danites, and they obey God. Just as Judah judges his people, just as Reuben judges his people, just as Joseph will judge his people. Each one will have a leader. That's why it says, Dan will judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel, meaning just like any other tribe judges its people, because it's written that Dan will judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. In other words, the people of Dan will appoint by God's command, and the church itself will be ministering this, a prince over themselves, and he will judge his people, not allowing them to do what they did in the past, both in Dan's time, because Dan really was bad. It was a tribe, a terrible tribe before the Lord, and that's why God wanted to use it to represent the false prophets during the time of Catholicism and the Reformation. So they act like the tribe of Dan. They create doctrines, they exalt the books of John Calvin, all that nonsense, all that garbage, each one glorifying their own God, their own book, and mixing the holy with the profane. Notice that these are priests who don't care about God's law. And in Ezekiel's temple, the priests won't act like that anymore. They will separate the holy from the profane. There will be a wall of separation. Do you understand?